Leo, let's be honest. You can feel it in your bones today. Something is shifting. And it's not just a nice idea to make you feel better. It's real. You're about to enter a chapter where good karma finally shows up like it's been watching the whole time. Because it has. There's a reason you clicked on this video, and no, it's not a coincidence. Maybe you've been working hard, showing up for everyone, staying strong even when things got quiet. Maybe the recognition never came the way you thought it would. But Leo, what if I told you today is the beginning of a return? Not in a vague, someday way, but in a very real, measurable way. This is October 5th. And something is happening in your field that I don't want you to miss. I know you're not here for fluff. You want truth. You want confirmation that the quiet efforts you've made, the sacrifices, the patience, the loyalty weren't for nothing. And today's energy? It's backing you up. We're talking about powerful planetary alignments that aren't just for show, the gateways. And you're standing in front of one right now. Venus is harmonizing with Uranus. Translation: a door you thought was closed might swing open so fast it'll catch you off guard. Financial opportunities, long overdue breakthroughs, a message or moment that proves the universe didn't forget you. It was just waiting for the right time. And Leo, that time is now. You're not chasing anymore. You're attracting. That's the shift. That's what's different about you today. You've always had the fire, the courage, the charisma. But now, you also have the alignment. And when those two forces meet, your inner readiness and cosmic timing, you become unstoppable. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to overwork to prove your worth. You simply need to say yes. Say yes to receiving. Say yes to showing up for what's already trying to reach you. And if something about that rings true, pause right here, take a deep breath, and type it in the comments. I am ready to receive everything that belongs to me. Let it be your declaration. Let it be your signal. Because here's the truth most people forget: energy responds to clarity. Not perfection. Not hustle. But clarity. So if today feels different, it is. And if you've been seeing signs, repeating numbers, intense dreams, unexpected messages, gut feelings that won't quit, trust them. Those aren't random. That's your higher self trying to tell you, get ready. You're stepping into something big. Something deserved. Something that already has your name on it. And Leo, if you stay with me to the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to align with this change and claim it with power. There's so much more waiting on the other side of this message. So let's take the next step together. You're not here by accident. You're here because you're ready. Something about October 5th feels different, doesn't it? Like a quiet tension in the air. A soft pulse underneath your skin. You might not have the language for it, but your energy does. Your nervous system already knows when something's shifting. That's because it's not just a normal day on the calendar, it's a point of activation. A marker in your timeline that's been gently waiting for you to arrive. Right now, the moon is moving through Gemini, a sign of communication, mental clarity, and flexible awareness. That alone would be enough to stir things up in your inner world. But combined with Leo's fixed fire and the presence of Venus aligning harmoniously with Uranus, something much bigger is happening. And you can feel it. Deep down, you've been sensing that change doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. Sometimes, it's subtle. A nudge. A small yes that leads to a bigger one. When the moon sits in Gemini, it doesn't just ask you to speak, it asks you to listen. To listen to your intuition when it whispers. To pay attention to the themes that keep showing up in your conversations, your thoughts, even your dreams. If you've been seeing repeating numbers like 1111 or 888, that's not random. Those are timestamps from the universe, signaling that your timeline is syncing up with a breakthrough. And the beautiful thing about Gemini is it doesn't scream for your attention. It just keeps showing you the message until you stop and say, wait. I've seen this before. Venus forming a trine with Uranus today is a big deal. It's not the kind of astrological transit you prepare for like an exam. It's the kind that sweeps in while you're busy being resilient. It shifts things behind the scenes. It reroutes energy in areas like love and money, especially where you've felt stuck or invisible. This alignment doesn't just offer surprise, it reveals what's always been there but hidden behind fear, doubt, or timing. For Leo, a fire sign ruled by the sun, this energy hits close to home. You're not meant to dim. You're meant to ignite. But maybe lately, you've been burning quietly, managing expectations, waiting for something or someone to recognize your worth. You've learned to hold back. You've learned to wait your turn. And now? That restraint is what's created the exact conditions for your flame to rise without burning you out. Today is the energetic equivalent of lightning cutting through the fog. A split second of clarity. A window of opportunity. But it's not a test, it's a gift. One you claim not through force, but through presence. You don't need to chase what's already destined for you. You just need to stay awake long enough to see when the door unlocks. This moment reminds me of something I've told clients for years. Sometimes, faith isn't loud. It doesn't shout in your face. It waits. It waits for you to stop spiraling and come back to yourself. It waits for stillness so it can speak. And when the moon and Venus dance like this, it's like the cosmos is extending an invitation just for you. A gentle yet powerful shift that asks, will you receive what's trying to reach you? So, if you've been having recurring dreams, feeling unexplained pulls toward new ideas, or noticing the same signs show up again and again, trust that. These are breadcrumbs leading you back to your own alignment. To the part of you that hasn't given up, even if you've been silent about what you're truly hoping for. Now let me ask you, have you felt something echoing inside you lately? A thought, a number, a song, a person? Comment below and name it. Because the moment you acknowledge it, you start to align with it. And alignment. That's when the magic happens. It's a strange kind of feeling when something you've been waiting for begins to move, not as an explosion, but like a quiet current beneath the surface. If you've ever stood near a river moments before it overflows its banks, you'll know what I mean. That's the energy around your finances right now. For a long time, it may have felt like things were blocked, delayed, or just stagnant. You tried your best. You showed up. You didn't give up. But still, the flow didn't come. Now, imagine that river finally finding its opening. That dam that held everything back. It's cracking. And the waters your blessings are rushing through. Not because you forced it, but because you stayed aligned with your path even when it didn't look promising. This moment is not about chasing money. It's about allowing what's already meant for you to return freely, without tension. So many of us have been conditioned to hustle harder, to sacrifice rest for results. But Leo, your wealth is not a reward for exhaustion. It's a natural response to the clarity you're finally standing in. The truth is, energy, especially financial energy, loves direction. It flows toward what feels grounded, intentional, and open. If you're still holding beliefs like, "I'm not good with money," or "I always have to struggle to get ahead," then those are the inner locks keeping the current from breaking through. Let's be real here. Financial breakthroughs don't always come with fireworks. Sometimes they look like a check finally clearing after weeks of waiting. Sometimes they come through an unexpected refund, a job offer you didn't see coming, or a message from someone who once owed you more than just money. And sometimes, they arrive as Claritian idea that you can no longer ignore, an opportunity that gives you chills, a decision that sets off a ripple you won't even see the full results of until months later. But one thing is clear, what you thought had passed you by is circling back. What felt out of reach is getting closer. And you don't have to run after it this time. This is where the law of attraction gets real. You're not attracting from desire alone, you're re-attracting from readiness. From nervous system safety. From the space inside you that no longer resists receiving. And that's what changes the game. When you stop chasing and start aligning, money doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like confirmation. So here's a gentle practice I've shared with clients who are stepping into this kind of energetic shift. Write your financial goal, not just the number, but what it represents for your life, in a piece of yellow paper. Yellow is the color of confidence, stability, and the solar plexus, the part of you that says, "I am worthy of this." Place it somewhere you'll see it every morning. Not to obsess over it, but to anchor the vision. And if you're a visual person, take it further. Create a vision board. But don't just plaster it with money signs and dream vacations. Ask yourself, what would this abundance allow me to experience? Is it time? Is it freedom? Is it peace? The clearer you get, the faster the universe knows what to deliver. Money is not just currency, it's clarity made visible. Now I'll ask you something I ask every client when I sense their breakthrough is near. What are you waiting to come back to you? Is it a payment, a job, a second chance, a dream you buried because it hurt too much to hope for? Write it in the comments. Call it by name. When you do, you're not just declaring it to the universe, you're realigning your whole field with the return of something sacred. This isn't just about wealth. It's about how you receive life. And right now, life is trying to give you more. Let it. Love doesn't chase you down in a whirlwind of chaos. It doesn't demand proof. It doesn't arrive just to fill the silence or rescue you from yourself. Real love, lasting love, often arrives softly, when you've stopped proving and started simply being. That's what this season is asking of you, especially if you're a Leo. Because when you drop the performance and allow your heart to stand unguarded, something remarkable happens. You stop attracting mirrors of your old wounds, and start welcoming reflections of your healing. You see, love isn't meant to complete you. That idea has caused more suffering than we admit. It's not about finding someone who fills your gaps, it's about walking beside someone who's also done their work, Someone who doesn't need to be your missing piece because they're already whole, too. If you're single right now, I want you to sit with this truth. Your life is not on hold until someone shows up. You're not a waiting room. You're a living, breathing, sacred space. And when you treat your life that way, love notices. For those in relationships, this moment brings an invitation to pause and get honest. Are we growing in the same direction, or are we growing apart? That question can be scary. But ignoring it doesn't change the answer, it just delays the healing. Sometimes love evolves. Sometimes it outgrows the story you first wrote together. And that's not failure. That's awareness. It's the recognition that connection must be tended to, or it begins to wilt. I've seen so many clients push themselves to make it work long after their hearts stopped feeling safe. They clung out of guilt, out of fear, out of duty. But love that binds through fear is not love, it's survival. You deserve something gentler. Something clearer. Something that doesn't ask you to shrink in order to be kept. If you've been hurt before, if your heart has bruises it rarely speaks of, I want you to know that you don't need to rush your healing to be lovable. The tenderness you carry is not a weakness. In fact, it's your greatest teacher. But you have to be willing to listen. To soften. To trust that the right love will never ask you to abandon yourself to feel chosen. One simple yet powerful way to begin this healing is through color therapy. The heart chakra responds deeply to frequency, especially soft blush pink and olive green. These colors calm the emotional body, signal safety to the nervous system, and help you unlearn the old story that love must be earned or proved. Surround yourself with these tones. Wear them. Sleep with them near. Let them remind you that your heart is allowed to rest, even as it stays open. If you're ready for something deeper, I invite you to begin a small daily ritual. Write yourself a love letter every morning. Not about who you wish would come, but about who you are. Who you're becoming. Use words like, I am worthy of love that honors my truth, or I am safe to be seen fully. The more you speak to yourself with compassion, the more naturally you'll recognize what real love feels like when it arrives. The journey to love starts with presence. With not needing to be chosen in order to feel valuable. When you stand in that energy, you become magnetic, not because you're trying, but because you're free. And there's nothing more attractive than someone who knows how to stand still in their light and let life meet them there. Intuition rarely announces itself with fireworks. It's not the loud voice in the room or the urgent message blinking on your phone. It's the quiet nudge when you're about to say yes to something that doesn't feel quite right. It's the soft resistance you feel in your body when you're about to enter a space that looks safe but doesn't sit well in your chest. Most people expect their inner knowing to arrive like a shout, but the truth is it almost never does. It whispers. And only when you're finally ready to hear it. At this point in your journey, especially after everything we've explored about love, timing, and personal alignment, your intuition is no longer something abstract. It's becoming a language you can trust. A guide that doesn't need proof to speak. Have you noticed the signs lately? Repeating numbers that seem to follow you from receipts to clocks. That glance at the time that always seems to land on 11:11, or the sudden appearance of 888 when you're questioning your finances. These aren't just patterns. They're part of the subtle energetic conversation between you and the universe, echoes from your own subconscious, mirroring your readiness. Sometimes it shows up in your sleep. That dream you keep having but can't shake, the face that reappears even if it has no context. Or that strange sense that someone is about to contact you right before they actually do. This is how energy speaks when you're finally quiet enough to listen. The way your body chills slightly when you step into a room that isn't meant for you. The way your heart feels lighter when you stop resisting something you've secretly known for a while. That's intuition in motion, not mystical fluff, but energetic truth. And here's the part no one tells you: the more space you create in your physical life, the more clearly your inner guidance can come through. When your environment is clogged, when drawers are stuffed, inboxes are drowning, and your calendar leaves no breathing room, your intuition has nowhere to land. That's why even something as simple as cleaning out one drawer can shift your state. Because in that moment, you're telling your energy field, I'm clearing space for what matters. This is why I often recommend small rituals that reconnect you with that deeper voice. 5 minutes of quiet in the morning, not to solve anything, not to achieve, just to be. Just to say softly, guide me toward what's true. Or keeping a notebook by your bed, not to journal in long paragraphs, but to scribble down the flashes from your dreams before they vanish. Even fragments can carry insight. Sometimes a single word in your dream is the thread that leads you to clarity later in the day. What most people call coincidence is often the result of being in just enough alignment to hear the cues you usually miss. But that alignment doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. By choosing to slow down, to be present, to treat your inner world as something sacred and alive. So let me ask you, as a simple and honest check-in, have you felt your intuition trying to speak lately? Maybe it's been subtle. A message that keeps arriving in different forms. A feeling that won't go away no matter how many times you push it down. If something's been circling you like that, now is the time to name it. Take a breath and write it down. Not for anyone else, just for you. Or better yet, share it in the comments. When we speak our intuition out loud, even gently, we give it more room to guide us. We stop hiding from our own truth. Because sometimes, the most powerful transformation begins with simply listening. You've done the inner work. You felt the stretch of waiting, the ache of uncertainty, the weight of staying steady when things around you felt anything but. But today, right now, you are no longer in a holding pattern. What's shifting for you is real. The energy in your field, financial, emotional, spiritualis, aligning in a way that hasn't happened in a very long time. And I want you to pause long enough to take that in. Alignment. This isn't scattered hope or forced positivity. This is clarity meeting timing. And when those two things converge, movement becomes inevitable. You're not starting over. That's the part most people miss. You're not back at zero. You're beginning again, but from a place of wisdom, experience, and resilience. That's a very different kind of beginning. It doesn't come with frantic energy. It comes with a deep breath and a grounded sense of knowing. It feels less like sprinting and more like returning home to your own power, to your own truth. So if it's been a long road, if you've been wondering whether it's too late or too messy or too slow, hear this clearly: nothing is off track. Every delay, every pause, every closed door shaped you into the version of yourself that is now fully capable of receiving. Sometimes we wait for permission, for a sign, for the timing to feel perfect. But in real life, change rarely feels convenient. It feels like a nudge in your chest. Like the tiniest flicker of readiness. And it's in those subtle moments that momentum is born, not from big declarations, but from small, clear steps. This is why the simplest actions can hold the most energetic weight. Writing down a statement like, "I have sown in light, and now I harvest in power," isn't about manifesting something magical. It's about anchoring what's already happening inside you. It's about telling your subconscious, "Yes, I see the shift. I trust it. I'm stepping forward with it." And maybe you're still carrying the old belief that real growth has to feel hard. That success means hustle. That healing means constant work. But that's just survival mode pretending to be productivity. Today, I want to invite you into something gentler, something more sustainable. Freedom doesn't come from doing more. It comes from choosing what actually serves your nervous system, your focus, and your energy field. When you support those parts of you, life responds. So try this today. When stress hits, try the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Do it 3 times. Not because it's a trend, but because it works. Your body remembers peace when you slow it down. Drink a glass of water with magnesium tonight, or let the scent of lavender rest near your bed. Eat slowly today, with presence. Skip the processed sugar just for now, not as punishment, but as protection for your frequency. Every one of these small decisions is a message. I am creating space for my breakthrough to land. And if someone you love is also a Leo, pass this along. Share the message. Not just to inspire them, but to amplify the field around you. When we align together, the energy strengthens. One light ignites another. This isn't the end of your story. This is the chapter where you begin to live what you used to pray for. So stand in it. Speak it. And if it resonates with you, write it below in the comments. Let's root it in. I have sown in light, and now I harvest in power. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to allow. And what's meant for you will meet you there. You don't need to see the whole path right now. You just need to take the next true step. That's how transformation begins, not with grand gestures, but with one brave breath, one honest intention, one whispered yes to what's already calling your name. The door isn't just opening. It's already ajar. And your name? It's been written there, waiting for you to notice. Waiting for you to step forward, not because you've been perfect, but because you've been patient. And now, it's your time. This isn't about changing your life overnight. It's about realizing that something inside you has already shifted. You wouldn't still be listening if you weren't ready. You wouldn't have found this message if your soul hadn't already asked for it. So let me ask you, are you willing to say yes to your own alignment? Are you ready to trust that the things you've quietly prayed for, worked for, cried for, are finally circling back? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to choose. And that choice begins with clarity. With stillness. With declaring what you're ready to receive. So if this message touched something deep inside of you, if you felt even a flicker of recognition in your heart, pause for a moment and type in the comments, "I am ready to receive everything that belongs to me." Not because it's magic, but because that single act of claiming it shifts your energy field. You go from waiting to aligning And from here, the universe meets you halfway. Remember, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. From awakening. From the version of yourself that has walked through the fire and come out softer, wiser, more open than ever before. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble into this space. You were guided here because some part of you is finally ready. Ready to open. Ready to rise. So thank you. Thank you for being here, not just watching, but truly showing up. Thank you for choosing presence over distraction, trust over fear, growth over comfort. And thank you for letting eternal mindfulness walk beside you for a few minutes today. It means more than you know. If this message resonated with your spirit, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next doorway that opens for you. And if someone you care about is also on the verge of their breakthrough, especially if they're a Leo, send them this video. Let the energy multiply. Let the light expand. Because Leo, you're not just a reflection of the sun. You are the sun. You were never meant to ask for permission to shine. So now's the time. Light up your own path. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But today. And as you go, carry this question in your heart: what if this moment was the beginning of everything you've been waiting for?